Normally, I wanted to do this quite regularly, like once a month regularly, but it's been, I think, over a year since I made my last channel check-in, so guess this turns into a yearly thing. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another channel check-in. This is the second channel check-in that I've done ever. We have quite a bit to talk about because, wow, I gotta catch you guys up on what's been happening lately. So, before I get to on the what's happening now, I just want to recap what happened throughout the year since my last check-in. So, in my last check-in, I did mention I was gonna do 3 playthroughs, or I was planning to do 3 playthroughs, which was Nier, Automata, Valkyrie Elysium when it released later that month, and Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, I did 2 of those and completed them. Final Fantasy Tactics, yeah, really took a backseat. Actually, taking a backseat is an understatement because it's basically like I almost abandoned the thing. Okay, wait, I did abandon it, but not exactly, because after the last episode that I did upload for that playthrough, I recorded another session, which I have not edited yet. So it's in this limbo state where it could come back. And I kind of want it to come back because my OCD is acting up and I really do want to finish Final Fantasy Tactics before I do anything else, because it is one of the 3 playthroughs that I did promise. But in the last year, one of the most anticipated playthroughs that I did was Final Fantasy 16. And I did the demo and I did a story playthrough, and I would say it came out rather successful. Not in terms of views, because my playthroughs are really not meant to get views, honestly. I don't know, when I do my playthroughs, I do like to keep it as a I have mentioned this in a bunch of my other playthroughs, but when I do some game playthroughs, I do like to keep them as a sort of like a time capsule kind of thing, especially when I play games blind, because it gives me like a look into my raw reaction at the time. It kind of makes me feel nostalgic a little bit more. You know, it's mostly for me, but at the same time, if people enjoy my playthroughs, then okay, cool, whatever. But yeah, I would call my Final Fantasy 16 successful in terms of the quality that I was able to put out. There were some minor issues, minor bugs that did happen in there, and I think it was more on the recording side of things. I really don't understand what was going on, but there were some cuts that would make my playthrough go out of sync with my commentary file, so I had to do a lot of editing in the background, but thankfully I managed to get everything out on schedule. I did take a couple of breaks in between, but those are well thought out breaks. But yeah, pretty much it ran through all on schedule because I was so busy with what I was doing. Alright, now let me go and explain my erratic schedule. So the reason why there were months where no uploads would happen, and then I'd come back with like 6 episodes consistently, like for an entire week. Yeah. This past year has been one of the most challenging years personally, not because of work, but because of school. Now, if you're wondering, what the hell, this kid's still in school? How old is he? Not regular school, it's more like postgraduate school. If you must know, I got a bachelor's degree back in 2017, and I was in a postgraduate course for the last 6 years. It should have been 4, but it ended up lasting about 6 years between the pandemic and everything. Yeah, a lot of stuff got really messy. I'll spare you guys the details, but the whole point was this last year, I was super busy working on just trying to graduate from this postgraduate course. I was working on my thesis and all that, so yeah, that took up most of my time. And in the last month, the reason why I had to finish Final Fantasy 16 early was because I had to take the biggest exam of my life sometime in September. So throughout, I don't know, I think I started reviewing or I started studying like May, and obviously Final Fantasy 16 came out in June of 2023, and yeah, like after I spent the day studying and stuff, I'd spend the night playing FF16, and I wanted to finish it before. I was so busy mid-July that I really wanted to finish it before like July rolled around, in terms of like recording the playthrough, which I was able to do. And if you know, the editing also takes some time, so I really like cut in to my study time just to make sure that it was there. That explains the erratic schedule, why I disappear every now and again. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. None of this is scripted, guys. I'm pretty much just, I have a couple of notes, like an outline of what I wanted to talk about, but it's been mostly just me rambling on about what I remember from the past year. So that's been my erratic schedule. Now let's go for the fun things that I did in the last year. So I think I mentioned this when I did my Final Fantasy X save file video, you know, when I finished my PS2 save file. So I think it was last Christmas. Yeah, I took a trip to the US. That obviously means that I live outside the US. But I took a trip to the US to visit a couple of relatives for about 2 months, which took a while. That was an amazing trip. That was my first time in the US. I absolutely loved it there. It was kind of surreal to me. I did visit a couple of states. I mostly stayed in the East Coast, and by mostly, I mean only stayed in the East Coast. I went to New York, as far up to Connecticut, but I mostly stayed in Virginia. Then I did visit a couple of friends down in Florida. I had an amazing time. I flew a plane because my friend is or one of my closest friends is a flight instructor, so she let me fly a plane. With her in the not in the passenger seat, but her in the co-pilot seat, of course. Yeah, we're not stupid. But that was an amazing once-in-a-lifetime trip. 2 months in the U.S. was super fun. Hands down, I'd do it again. It's expensive to go there. It really is expensive. And then my next trip, which was pretty crazy, and I think I'm gonna go super in depth into this because it's by far my most favorite trip that I've ever been on. So like I said, I took the exam in September. Final Fantasy 16 finished uploading, I think, in the 1st of September, if I'm not mistaken. So right now it's the end of October of the time that I'm recording this. So why haven't I uploaded? Well, because after my exam, I've been absolutely burnt the fuck out that I just wanted to relax. And part of that relaxing was me taking a trip to Japan. So I went to Japan for the first time. I stayed in Tokyo only. It was such a great trip. I went with another friend that also took the same exam. Since we're both kind of like weebs and stuff, we it started out as a joke, honestly. Like it started out as a joke last year where I just told him like, let's go to Japan. And then he's like, bet. And then 9 months later, we booked a flight and we're just like, holy shit, we're really doing this, huh? And then, yeah, we just booked our accommodations and everything. And then once we got to Tokyo, yeah, that was an experience because holy crap, the food was amazing. The people were so polite. I don't speak Japanese. I am learning though. Like I can read a little bit of hiragana and katakana, but I know nothing about kanji. But for hiragana and katakana, yeah, that was a horrible voice crack, by the way. But yeah, for hiragana and katakana, I am learning a little bit. I did have the survival phrases in check, you know, asking if I can order some stuff or how to order stuff in a Japanese restaurant. Because funnily enough, like most of the stuff that I've seen on social media, like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, whenever they talk about, oh, go to this place in Japan, it's always been like there's like a little vending kiosk thing where that's where you place your order in. And I've only been to my entire stay. I stayed there for a week. My entire stay there, I think we only went to 1 or 2 restaurants that had that vending thing. Because all the other restaurants, you had to order from one of the service people there. It was weird because none of us could speak Japanese. So we just had these key phrases and we could not understand a lick of what everyone was saying. But yeah, I wanted to go in depth with my Japan trip because this was by far the coolest trip that I was on. We had so much shit planned. So on the first 2 days, we decided to take it easy there. The first day, oh my god, we had like a red-eye flight and we arrived at 11 o'clock. No. We arrived at 9 o'clock in the morning. And once we got to the it took us a couple of hours to get to the hotel. Like we got to the hotel at around 1 p.m., 12:30, around that time, because we arrived at 9, but obviously we had to get the other stuff out of the way, you know, exchange some cash, get our SIM card pocket Wi-Fi's and stuff. So we got to the hotel at around 12:30 to 1, and normally check-in is at 3 p.m. I think that's the standard check-in time for hotels in Japan, but they allowed us to check in at like 1, so we were very thankful about that. So we got in, put our luggage down, and we're like, let's go explore the area. And we went to this crazy place that I saw on Instagram Reels. So we went to this place called Tonkatsu Marushichi, which is this uber, like mega thick piece of pork that's like been deep fried. it just tastes so good. It was so rich. It was freaking amazing. I wanted to go back there. I mean, it wasn't terribly priced. The one we got was, I think, 2,100 yen, 2,100 yen, which is about, I don't know, 20 bucks US. So yeah, like it was kind of expensive, but totally worth it. If you guys happen to go to Tokyo, look it up. It's a great place. It's so good. Just make sure not to go there at peak hours. We took a train to the area. We arrived there at like 2:30, and there wasn't much of a, there still was a line, but the line was like filled with, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 people before we got to sit down. So we waited for just about a little over 20 minutes just to get seated and stuff. It was amazing. Oh, after that, I passed out. After getting home back to the hotel at that time, I passed out. So the next day, we went into the middle of Tokyo. You know, we went to see the Tokyo Tower. We just explored one of the shrines there. I do not remember the name. I'll probably put it up. And then we also went to the Pokemon Center there in the middle of Tokyo, which was surreal to me. We got there at like 10:30, which is when it was supposed to open, but then they had like an admission time, like an admission ticket. And when I got the ticket, they said to come back at like 1 p.m. So we decided to just explore the rest of Tokyo again, and then we came back at like 1, and I got to see the Pokemon Center from the inside. It was really cool because they had like this shelf, obviously protected by glass and everything, that had each of the boxes for all of the like original games. So like the Japanese versions of the original games, which, by the way, like the Pokemon games, the Japanese boxes look so good. I don't know why, they just look so good. I just like them a lot more than the North American release, like the boxes for the North American release of these games, and I just wanted to get one for myself. Anyway, so that was fun. I bought a couple of plushies, and then we went to eat in this place called Curry Bondi, which is this curry place. Their beef curry was kind of like their bestseller, and it was really, really good. I really liked it, but I know there are like a couple of other curry places that I have yet to try. Like, I'd love to like just go on a food trip and taste all the curry that I want, because it is one of my favorite dishes, one of my favorite Japanese dishes, at least. Japanese curry is freaking good. Anyway, yeah, that's what we did for the second day. And then for the rest of the time there, I just full on weebed out. We went to Akihabara. I bought a bunch of crap. I played a bunch of gacha machines. My Hololive collection just got a lot bigger. And then we spent some time in Shinjuku. I played one of the crane games, I think in the Bandai Namco Shinjuku area. Yeah, we spent a lot of time there because each crane pull was a little expensive, but the crane games there were so easy. Like, I can't tell you, we got so many prizes from there. Like, I got a Ruby Hoshino plushie. I was able to get an Ichika, you know, from the quintessential quintuplets, like an actual figurine of her. Well, I got an Anya and a Yor plushie, like a very small plushie kind of thing. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, and I think I spent less than 1,000 yen to get all of that. I think maybe 1 or 2 pulls for each of the prizes that I got. Imagine that. Anyway, the other stuff that I did, we did go to Odaiba. We saw the Gundam unicorn statue there, and it moves, which is really cool. I did check out the Gundam base, and I kind of went a little crazy with the Gundams that I bought, or the Gunpla that I bought. But I noticed something though. Like, if you're looking for cheap Gunpla, do not go to the Gundam base, because although they are much cheaper than if you buy them like locally wherever you are, depending on the retailer or whatever, it's much cheaper if you buy them in Akihabara. Now, I can't guarantee that they will be brand new, but there are little tags on each of the boxes that indicate whether it's ever been opened and if everything inside is complete. Now, most of the stuff, because I don't know why, but the Japanese people are so good at taking care of their stuff. Most of the stuff that I bought were literally half the price of Gunpla that you can buy in the Gundam base, and they're literally unopened and complete. They're basically brand new all the way in Akihabara. So yeah, if you're looking for cheap Gunpla that aren't Gundam base exclusives, because there are a bunch of Gundam base exclusive kits. So yeah, if you want the exclusive kits, then yeah, go ahead, buy them in the Gundam base. But if you're looking for cheaper Gunpla, yeah, Akihabara is the best place to go. I went back there like 3 times, went to Animate, you know, all those weeb stuff. But what I really spent most of my time doing was looking for a PlayStation Vita that was under 15,000 yen. You can't find that anymore. The Vitas that I found were over 25,000 yen, which is super expensive. That's like 250 bucks for a Vita. Yeah, I wasn't gonna spend that much, especially if I could get it back home for like less than 200. So I'll probably save up for the Vita now, but I wasn't gonna spend 25,000 yen on a Vita there. Although it would have probably have been in really good shape, really good quality, but I really wanted a Vita just to round out my collection because I have every model of the PlayStations except for the Vita so far. All right, so what else did I do in Japan? Yeah, the Shinjuku nightlife was a little wild. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to experience it. It would have been fun probably for my next trip there. I had ramen in this really small ramen place, which was really good. I can't remember the name, but it was a really good ramen place. And mostly the people there were like office workers. So you know that that place is good. There were hardly any foreigners there. So yeah, hidden spot like that would do well. My favorite thing though about Japan was the convenience stores. Oh my God, the convenience stores were amazing. The konbinis. Oh my gosh. The onigiris. Oh my God. That's the one thing. Well, one of the many things, but I think I miss it the most was the freaking onigiris, to the point that before we left Japan, there was a Lawson inside the terminal of the airport, and we were just like, one for the road. So we bought our last onigiri and we just enjoyed it. My favorite onigiri was definitely the tuna mayo. That was friggin' delicious. There was the salmon onigiri. I think there was even like a marinated pork kind of thing. It was also really good, but the tuna mayo one was just absolutely delicious. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna show you guys a bunch of pictures like of what I took, a little bit of footage. We went to Shibuya Sky. We saw the Shibuya crossing. You know, we did all those touristy stuff, but most of the stuff that I really did was I kind of just weebed out. Got a bunch of Hololive merch, you know, Niji Sanji merch. I love VTubers, so that isn't really a shock. Oh, one of my favorite things that I was able to get, I went to the Square Enix Cafe. This is oh my God, I'm a Final Fantasy channel and I forgot to mention this. Wow. So I went to the Square Enix Cafe. I went to the one in Akihabara. I think you do need a reservation to get into the cafe, but there was like a merch store right next to it where anyone can pretty much just enter. So I went in and there was like a really long line as well, but it was like a moving line because people were just looking at like the exhibits of what was shown. There was a bunch of Kingdom Hearts stuff which looked super cool. There was also some Dragon Quest stuff, I think some slime stuff as well, but the Final Fantasy section is really like what got me. And they were selling a bunch of the music boxes. Now I wasn't able to get my hands on some of them. The only music box that I had was Tifa's theme, and that's kind of the only one that I wanted from FF7. I'm not sure if they came out with Earth's theme. I think they did, or the main theme of Final Fantasy 7. I think they did as well. But the one that I found and I was just like, I have to get this, was Final Fantasy 9 Melodies of Life. So I got it and it was the last one left. I didn't care how much it was. I just bought it because I needed it. Now I have it. I'll probably put up a video of it playing some sounds. It sounds so good. Anyway, that wasn't the only Square Enix cafe I went to because I was able to go to the Square Enix headquarters. Obviously, I couldn't get in because they don't know me, but I took a picture of the sign, I took a picture with the sign, and then I went to the Artnia Cafe, which has no reservation. It's pretty much just a walk-in kind of thing, and the amount of merch in there was like so much more than the Square Enix Cafe down in Akihabara. So if you're looking for like plushies or other pieces of merch, yeah, the place to go is definitely the Artnia Cafe in Shinjuku. I think it was in Shinjuku. Yes, it was in Shinjuku. Anyway, aside from the merch area there, they also had like a mini museum where they had this little materia fountain thing. It looked so cool, and I was pretty much amazed with what they had there. It was such a great experience just to go there. I wanted to buy an Aerith plushie, but at that time, like I was going a little bit over budget because I spent so much on other things like food, Gunpla, Hololive. You know, I spent so much on that. The amount of times I pulled on a gacha machine, I think I pulled at least, I don't know. Actually, I was a little conservative. I pulled maybe like less than 10 times on a gacha machine, which was fun. But I was able to get a Kiara acrylic stand, which was out of stock for almost 2 years, I think, because it came out around the same time that I got my Gura acrylic stand thing, which was cool. Yeah, that's pretty much the coolest things that I did in Japan. I would definitely go back. It is one of my favorite places that I've ever been to. For Tokyo, I'm definitely, I do want to make it a yearly thing, because flights to Japan are significantly cheaper than flights to the US. I think, yeah, Tokyo may be a yearly trip for me, or not Tokyo necessarily, but Japan in general. Like, I'd love to go to the other towns like Osaka, Kyoto, you know, maybe in the future I'll visit Hokkaido and Okinawa. But yeah, like, I'd love to go all around Japan and just experience the whole thing, the Japanese culture, learn the language, play games in Japanese. That would be fun. But yeah, like that was my Japan trip. So all right, now enough with the recap of what happened. What are my plans for the coming future? So aside from this channel check-in, I have two Final Fantasy X tips and tricks videos that are going to be coming out. I do mean two, but they're going to be like multiple videos that will come out because there's one video that I have that will be in multiple parts because it's just that big of a topic. Anyway, aside from that, we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out next February. I know it's still about 4 months away, but guys, it's 4 months away and we're getting kind of close. I have that prepared. It'll be 2 discs, so I have to get my PS5 like set up and ready to go. I will be doing maybe a couple more playthroughs, but I won't be starting anything new. I'll probably continue with the other routes for Nier. We will platinum Final Fantasy 16, so don't forget about that. You're going to see more episodes from that. Again, we're going to continue with the different routes for Nier, and then I'll probably finally finish recording my Final Fantasy Tactics playthrough. I do want to finish Final Fantasy Tactics before we finish, or at least before we start Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because that's going to be the big playthrough for next year. After that, we still have to figure that out. I'll probably come up with another channel check-in within that time. I'm not sure if I can do a monthly thing, maybe like every 4 months or every 3 months, you know, like a quarterly thing. So I guess that's been it for me. Those are our plans. If you've reached this far just hearing about me gush about Japan, yeah, it's amazing trip. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. So take care, everyone, and peace out.